Hey everybody, this here is Dan, and this here will be the war recap against Dragon Rejects. This here was an arranged war, and we lost. King fell too short, and a little bit more on the total destruction. So what happened here was early on in the war, they were managed to 3-star a lot of our Town Hall 10s, and that's cool that in the current state of the game, you can actually pull it off with another Town Hall 10. We were not able to return the favors, so we kind of went for like the solid 2s. I think we got one good swing here, and was the best we can do was 80%. So they've been practicing. They're really good at their Town Hall 10 on 10 game. And that's cool that in the current state of the game that Queen Walks and Valks are actually this effective, so that you can actually put up some stars on 10s and actually get to 3-star. Some of the 9s on both sides were not cleaned up, and to include myself, woohoo, I held I think 6 attacks, 5 attacks, something like that, and getting attacked by one of my favorite YouTubers, Thunderclap. Always enjoy his channel. Mad props to that guy. He is awesome. Good entertaining content all the time. Our 6-star war hitters will be Imlaw with dropping down, putting 2 fresh 3-stars on a couple of their guys, and then Guy with the cleanup 6-star, and Happy Barbarians coming out the gate, putting a quick 3-star fresh hits, and we're going to see one of those here in just a moment. But these are not all Mass Valk videos. I know I got some feedback that were like, hey man, Mass Valk is boring. However, with this said, Dragon Rejects actually had probably some of the hardest bases I've ever seen yet. Period. Because I feel like throwing Valks or not, I feel like almost throwing Valks or a Queen Walk at some of these bases were necessary, because the way how the Teslas were arranged or the traps or whatever, it just crapped on hogs or loons, and it was very difficult to figure out some of these bases. Now, here's one kind of a non-standard attack. We have I see 5 dragons. You see a bunch of golems, and you're starting to wonder like what's going on here, because he's got 2 zaps and a quake and then a poison. It's gonna be a really weird attack, and you probably won't ever see anything like this again because it's just so weird. But Seth, I really like it. This is a really good hit, man. Comes in with like the widest funnel. Got to clean half the base right here with just the 2 golems and some whizzies, and he's got 3 golems. So we're going in with a stone dragon approach. Kind of an interesting attack, but the concept here is solid, and what he's trying to do is he's trying to soak all of this point defense and whatnot onto the 3 golems. That way he can just have his queen, his heroes, kind of clean out a little bit, because he's going right in the Tesla farm here. This year, I think this attack was already like some sort of cleanup. Now he did the 2 zaps and 1 quake just in the middle, so that knocked out 2 air defenses there. And he's gonna drag in here from the top side. So 12 o'clock all the way to 3 o'clock, it's gonna get dragons, man. He spreads them all out, so they're not getting hit by that for much of red air mines. And our queen is able to do a lot of work down here. Our BK, he's taking hits for us. I know he's getting chewed up and whatnot, but look, man, he's holding it down, so that way the dragons can move on in unhindered and get the job done at full health. And our queen down here, we miss the ability. She goes down. I'm not sure where he was looking, but there are a few things here that he wants to hit on top. He's got 1 wizard. He's got 4 loons, and he wants to move these loons in. But there, finally, he gets a sweeper down. Because the idea here is to use loons to kind of like cut the flank, keep the dragons on track, and keep them from taking so much damage. Black Expos do a lot of damage. Alright, so he puts in, as for the Expo is being tanked by the dragon, he's putting down the final loons, and they're going to move on in. I'm going to give you the 2x here into the 4x here in just a moment. The loons arrive. They're all full health, so even with that wizard tower there, it's going to get it done, man. But they do come up on that wizard tower with a sliver of health. I think he would have got it done anyway with what's left on the board. It's going to be 3 stars, man. I think that attack was so overly thought about. Like he planned and he planned and he planned. It must have went right to plan, except for like maybe the loons on the top end. But that's money, man. I like it. Here's a good example of a anti-Valk kind of base. Now, when the Valks bust in here, they usually run around that circle because they're always moving to the next available target. And then there's all these little islands on the outside. I think this was made off of a farming base. I think there's a farming base similar to this. So he's going to use a queen walk here to kind of cut it a little bit, but he wants to queen walk off this this patch here. I'm not sure why he chose this side over others because with the 3 air defenses up top, what's going to happen is he's unless he wall breakers into that compartment. What's going to happen is his healers get sniped, and I don't think he has the wall breakers for that. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but everything here is getting tanked. And what's interesting about this base here is he still has an expo that's not maxed. I don't think that would help him or change anything about the state of this attack. But these are pretty standard. I guess you can call them Hevahos because they don't have a golem, so it's not really a go. Hevaho. I mean, it does sound pretty common. I mean, that's just funny. I mean, who says that? Anyway, his healers are getting blasted. He's going to have to use his ability in the attack on the Queen Walk side. It will peter out, unfortunately. Oh, here we go. We did bring the CC Golem, but there are a few that we didn't even bring Golems for. And I really like how this attack's going to play out because it's all about the funnel, man. So he's distracting the splash defenses, and he sends in his wall breakers. Now our queen walk up top is gonna die, man. That cannon will do work. It'll get rid of our queen, but we have a 30-30 queen or 30-30 heroes set up right now. And what's gonna happen here is, see, watch this, man. Because of our cuts, the Valks move up, and then they're like, well, there's nothing else kind of nearby, and suddenly the BK steps up. We got BK on BK action. The Valks chop right through the freaking wall and start moving on in. It's hilarious. So I think because there was a gap in defenses down south, the golems and the BK and all that stuff, they all wanted to go into that middle compartment. Otherwise, they probably would have run the gauntlet around the side and end up in trouble. Now, what also is cool about this attack is you're able to kind of put down a small set of hogs, and the hogs, with these tight compartments, there's no spring traps, so this base here is very weak to hogs. And this is kind of like what you want to look for is, are there one tile gaps between the defenses? If the answer is no, you're going to get a lot of value for your hogs with just a heal spell or whatever, because you don't deal with hogs flipping out all over the place. What happened here in the core was actually well executed. And our queen did a lot of her funnel building by being able to shoot over the top of that wall and put down the 3-star with that funnel assist. We actually use queen walks to help us funnel quite a bit. I got this one here from Beto. Beto's doing his standard here. It's going to be the mass val, guys, so sit tight. Going to give you the 2x here, man, but the concepts are solid. Alright, because I know people get burned out on these mass valves, but the concepts here are solid. And what we want to do here is it's all about the funnel, guys. So there you go. They move into this compartment. Where are they going next? Well, as they cut everything up and they enter from the northeast, they will end up on the southwest. They cut down all the CC. The CC is dead, and then they don't have anywhere else to go because this base has a natural gap in the middle. I mean, if it was more of a circular base, they would get stuck and start swinging off on random compartments, kind of like what they are right now. Because once they arrive on the southwestern part of this base, they end up outside of it. So, when you think about Valk funneling, if they arrive on the northeast side, they go out the southwest side. That's just how they work in a base, unless there's not any buildings there. But that's weird because then there would be like a hole in the base. But there you go, man. It's solid. We did have bases kind of arranged like this. There were some troll Teslas on the Dragon Reject side. I really don't care. Some people are like, "Oh, that's being sneaky." Well, I guess in my opinion, the Town Hall 9 game, if it's all about the traps. But I like this one here. Now that you've seen Mass Valks and you're like, "Yeah, it works," check this one out. We have no Valks. No Valks. So we got in here is it's going to be a stone goho. Yep, you thought it was gone, but nah, man, just stone goho. No jumps on this thing though. That's what's interesting about it. So we threw a few attacks at this base, and what's weird about it is right where the BK is right now, there's like 3 or 4 Teslas, and they all have springs between them. So usually when your hogs are moving on in, they just get pooped on. It's not even funny. They just get really destroyed. Now we end up with kind of a weird CC rolling out. There's like hogs in there and some whizzies. I don't know what's going on with that CC, but all the CCs are pretty varied. I kind of like that. And the hogs are moving on in. Now they're blowing bombs, and I think the reason why we went with a hog, just hogging the hell out of this base, is because there's a lot of singles on this base. So he made it kind of like to my opinion, throwing up a lot of single bombs is good anti-Valk because uh, you know, it's just a good way to like splash damage Valks as they move through a base, and then you kind of run them low on health so that way your point defenses are able to knock them down. You're forced to heal them more frequently, and then it's really effective. Now our golems are tanking Teslas, and we're doing really good here. I wish we could have another poison because there's just so many skeletons moving on in, but our queen's like knocking the skeletons off, so that's handy. And they arrive at this spring trap galore session here, but for some reason when a hog moves across a spring and it's not stopping, they don't flip. I don't know. In my opinion, buff spring traps. I think it would be more effective against Valks. That's usually what my suggestion is to improve the state of the game. There you go, man. 4 singles, getting the hogs. I like it, man. Even brought CC hogs, man. Got the 6 of the boss hogs. Check it out, man. I got one here from Jeeton. This here, no queen walk, moving in with the golems. And I think there's some good concepts here. He only brings 1 jump and 3 heals. Now, what's going on here is there's a Tesla pop on that center air sweeper. There's going to be a Tesla pop that creates a DGB, and then there's 2 singles. So we still want to hog this base, but we need to pretty much power this base through with our Valks. Now our Valks do kind of go awry here. They run off to the south, but once the queen starts shooting, they're like, oh, I want to get in there, and they bust on into that compartment. Now he heals them early here. I don't think we needed to heal at that point, but you know, whatever. They're gonna move up and they completely blast the CC. That P.E.K.K.A.'s got nothing on it, man. But that P.E.K.K.A. does get a good chop on that golem, but it's fine. Our golem's done its job. It's doing what it needs to do. I think it's still taking heat from that cannon in our BK's absorbing that expo. So all this stuff's moving in here from the south. We still got 4 hogs in the bag. All these guys are moving on up. There are some springs here, which is pretty nasty. But check this out. Look at this funnel, guys. Look at this funnel here. That's it, man. So the Valks had nowhere to move. He understood Valk pathing, and the Valks had nowhere to move but to the northeast. They pop that compartment, run across the DGBs, and they're clearing all the defenses, so the hogs never even need to arrive or even deal with the defenses. They just run outside. They're running the outside as the hogs. As the Valks move to the base, the hogs are released. They run the outside, completely avoiding all damage because it was all shooting inward on our golem, on our Valks. As you see here, there's really nothing for Valks left in the space, but there's plenty of hogs, man. Even got corner huts happening here. There's I think this one ran close on time, but I really like this attack because he understood the fundamentals of Valk pathing, and he put down his hogs in response. I like that. And then I had one cleanup here. This year, I like this base, and I like seeing bases like this, honestly, because this is what my go-to is. Now, we already tried an attack on this base with, I think it was the Zapquake Dragons, and we put a queen in this compartment, but it wasn't any healers on her. So I figure out, well, I'll power her on in here. And what's going on is there's 3 wizard towers, and there's like 3 or 4 Teslas here, and then I forgot there was a troll Tesla off on the 9 o'clock. I totally forgot about it. So I'm glad this base didn't ruin me on time, but it gets pretty close, man. So like for the next 20 or 30 seconds, all you're gonna do is you're gonna see this queen roll up on this BK. She blasts them. Now I meant to rage here because I was sitting here thinking there's spring traps all over this place too. I meant to rage here because I was thinking all the Teslas would put a lot of heat on her and maybe the Expo would lock in, but it doesn't happen. Check this funnel out on the right though. I got a BK and 2 Wizzies, but one of them breaks off for the corner hut. I didn't want that to happen. Then he breaks off to the other, the breadcrumb that I was going to use. So all that's getting delayed. I'm looking down at the queen. The queen's looking fine. The BK, I didn't need him anyway, man. He's just doing his own thing. I empty out the CC, and what you're going to see here is 13 plus 3 Valks rolling in this base. And what are they going to do? They're going to go from the northeast side to the southwest side. They get all of his spring traps in one gig go. They arrive at something, they blow it up. Now, check out this funnel here, dude. So this queen was able to shoot over the top of the walls and clean on all that. So there's literally nothing left in this base for them to move, except for right on in here. And I expected the DGB right where that wizard standing, or right where they're at right now. So boom, that was going to be the heal spot anyway. And I just figured, well, I'll just use the rage here. Boom, annihilate all this and get a heal, so they go back to full. I got 5 hogs and I got 1 more heal, and I throw them down. That was all part of the plan. And then at this point, the queen, I thought she'd break out and go around the base, but she's still shooting a wall. Well, it happened kind of late. I was like, hey, why not heal these guys who were trying to, help me out with my cleanup, but I just ended up wasting a heal. So that's not intended swag there. I think every Valk survived, and we're totally annihilating this base. It's hilarious. There you go, guys. Funneling, internal funneling of the base. You got to go to base. You got to break it down. You got to take care of the threats, man. I like this one from, where's Trowley? There we go, Trowley. Look at this, dude. This one here, ridiculous. We're bringing some giants. We're gonna bring some healers. I really like this walk, man. And, I got a lot of respect for Trowley on this. This one's cool. This here's a cleanup. Our wizards knock out those skeletons, and what he wants to do here is he wants to queen walk off this Tesla farm. There's a Tesla farm all around this town hall here, and he's trying to knock it out. There's also other nasties, man. We got like skeletons and other crap over here. We're not bringing any power units to take care of this base. As you see here, there's only 9 hogs, and there's only 6 Valks. Now we got a couple more in the CC and other good stuff, but we don't really have like a power team here to knock out this base. And this here's a maxed out base, except for the expos and those mortars. But other than that, he's got to have this stuff all figured out, man. We're using light entry units because we're so tight on the farm. The camp space, I mean. But there you go, man. He dumps them all off. They're moving in. We got the CC Valks moving in with the 2 archers and the Wizzies backing them. We get a golem out of here, which is particularly nasty as far as the CC unit for the Valks, because once they pop, they pretty much do like 500 or 600 damage. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but they do a lot of damage in a large splash, and it does damage all the Valks pretty significantly. You pretty much are forced to heal with that kind of CC coming out. There's no poison. Hey, don't worry about it. The queen gets a poison, so her damage is significantly reduced. The Valks, well, they just get right on top of her. And then he brings in the hogs. The hogs clear the outside and the back end. He puts down some Wizzies. The Wizzies are going to clean up the backside of his base. He's moving on in. Now he's out of heals, but the healers are all up. And that's where we're going to get a lot of value. So our queen, check this out, man. It's like free funnel. You're free running into a base, man. I love it. So the queen moves on in. The hogs are dealing with that. The healers go back to the queen, and there you go, man. That's why running hogs in these bases just sucked, because you got like single bombs in weird spots. You got all sorts of really effective spring traps. Props to the design team on that. Just hogs are just flipping for days. They're moving on in. Knock it all out. Queen takes out the inner side. BK and the Wizards on the outside. It's gonna be 3 stars. I like that. I like that walk, man. That's a good technique where she ran the gap in the middle. Didn't even have to take a lot of units, man. But he was real tight on the camp space. Here's a fresh hit from Happy Barb. I like this. I like this hit. So everybody's trying like new anti-Valk kind of techniques. Like look at this core. This core is like not friendly to Valks at all, so Valks are going to have to run the exterior of this base. It's crazy. We also have like new meta concepts here, like hey, just put your CC down next to the queen. That way you can hassle whatever's trying to get at the queen. But what he's doing here is he brings a golem, a BK, a couple Wizzies. That's enough to get the job done, man. It's enough to get the job done. Now, our golem, don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. This here's a mass Valk attack, so prepare yourself. It is what it is. We do have a few Valks from the CC, the big Valks. They move on in. So they're doing their own thing. But that's not the mass Valk part of this attack. They're moving in with just enough power to knock out all these Springtrap Tesla farms in the middle. Oh yeah, look at this nastiness. But look on the right. Look at 3 o'clock, guys. Our Valks are now going to run the gauntlet on the exterior side of this base now that the core has been gutted. What? Split Valks? That's what's going on here, guys. Split Valks. So we got Valks in the middle, we got Valks on the outside. That's how to break these anti-Valk bases. This is genius. Genius. Happy Barb breaking it. Breaking the game. Breaking bases. Breaking faces. I don't even know. This is cool. This is cool, man. Valk's running all over the place now. His kill squad's petering out, but man, there's like 10 Valks there. It's gone. Swag's a heal. Swag's a heal. This is a fresh hit, guys. Swag and a heal. What the hell? Crazy. That's awesome. Then I got this other one here from. I'm gonna show Ramsey because this base took a ton of hits. Ramsey putting it down. I know it's 28 out of 30, and you're like, what? Nah, so the cannons aren't maxed, the wizard towers aren't maxed, but look at the concepts here. We ran this one here in Sketch. We wanted to get some funnels cut, and we're running with a Heave-A-Ho, if you want to call it that, and we're gutting this base, man. Look at this. So the queen down here on the south, she's going to get the poison on the BK. We tried it with a low level queen earlier, and I don't think she got raged and got all jacked up and got all screwed up. But so she died. That was one attack. I think another attack, the queen ran off. Another attack, they all got stuck on something. Then the queen stayed alive on top of the space. It got ugly, man. So check this out. He just patiently waited, man. He's got 4 breakers. He could have broken into that compartment. There's a couple Teslas in there. Could have broke in there. Could have solved it, but nope. He's just hanging out. Waits for that Tesla to get aggro, and that mortar, boom, blows the compartment. The queen's going to move on in. And then, normally, I have the queen go one way and have the Valks go another. He dumps them all off right here. They're going to roll right into that base, man, from the southwest side of the northeast, getting the CC down. CC's a dragon. That's ugly. Really bad for Valks, man. Really bad for Valks. But that queen steps up. Boom, she gets blasted. They knock out of the CC troops. And they're moving on in. And the queen shoots off the dragon. And that heal was well placed. And the Valks are moving in full health. Now, here's some advanced techniques, guys. Using the BK as absorption plus funnel generator up top, he's going to stay alive. There's only like 1 or 2 defenses on him. So he's alive. He's available for cleanup. And he's going to keep these Valks on track. Like I said, guys, from the southeast, where do they go? Or from the southwest, where are they going to go? They're going to go northeast. So there you go. They went out the top of the base, but a lot of our Valks actually went a little bit southbound before moving and cleaned out that compartment. I believe that one had the double giant in it, but for some reason it didn't blow up there. And I think it was in one of our replays. Anyway, so the Valks, once they get outside, they pretty much stay outside. So you know that's the thing about mass Valks is it's really hard to, if once they pop out of a base, it's really hard to get them back into the base. It's probably just not even going to happen. The Valks do get on in, and they're able to finish off this base, and it's going to be 3 stars. Boom. Woo. All right, guys, a little bit longer video than what I was shooting for, but it was a really good war, man. It was a really good war. Good attacks from both sides. And if you didn't get featured, no problem, man. It's just I got a limited amount of time. All right, take care.